You do not have to hate anxiety, and you do not have to just learn to live with it. You can learn how to understand it, and you can learn simple things that will help you take control of it and change how you respond to moments of uncertainty and moments of stress. Anxiety doesn't have to be your enemy, nor do you need to resign yourself to living with it. You don't have to let anxiety hijack you. You can meet those moments, whether those moments are moments when you wake up first thing in the morning and you feel anxious, or whether it's anxiety that comes at night, or the anxiety that sort of is your companion right now during the day. In this video, I will share with you what I had learned from Mel Robbins about the connection between worrying and anxiety, and what triggers anxiety. To all who don't know Mel Robbins, she is New York Times best-selling author and one of the world's leading experts on motivation, change, and habits. And one of the changes that she teaches all over the world is how to heal anxiety. She is not a therapist, but she is an individual who struggled personally with anxiety for more than 2 decades. Before we begin, I want to clear that what we are talking about in this video is very different from anxiety disorders that are chronic and clinical. We are talking about generalized anxiety that most people feel in today's world, because it is so overwhelming, overstimulating, that it's tweaking every aspect of how our mind works, and I want to share with you how to get control of that. With that said, let's begin.
Welcome to Motivibes channel.
The connection between worrying and anxiety. It begins with the habit of worrying. We all do it. We are all guilty of worrying about things that are beyond our control, worrying about all kinds of things that you shouldn't worry about. And it becomes a habit. It becomes a default way of thinking. So let me explain the connection between worrying and why that impacts anxiety. Let's start with the habit of worrying. Worrying about things that don't matter, worrying about things that you can't control, worrying about things that haven't happened yet, worrying about things that are far off in the future. When you start to train yourself to think about things that are not in your control, or think about things that are statistically likely never to happen, that's when you get into trouble. Worrying is when you allow your mind to default on autopilot and think about things that don't serve you. Think about things that are outside of your control. So, if you allow your thoughts to constantly drift to the worst-case scenario, what's going to happen is your thoughts spiral. Your body is going to pick up on the fact that your brain is worried, and what's going to happen is you will start to trigger agitation in your body. So, when you start thinking negative things up here in your mind, you're gonna start feeling negative things in your body. You might feel a pit in your stomach. You might actually start to sweat. Your heart might start to race. Your throat might get tight. Your hands might get clammy. These are all signs that you have now crossed from simply worrying in your mind to feeling physical agitation, which is anxiety. So that's the relationship between worrying about something, which is thinking negative thoughts about things that are outside your control, and anxiety, which is when those worries become physical agitation in your body caused by your thoughts. You worry when you're on autopilot, but when you redirect your thoughts and be a deliberate thinker, you're now in control of what you're doing. Being a deliberate thinker means when your mind defaults to something in the future that's negative or something that you can't control, you are gonna take it right back to this moment, and you are either going to visualize something positive, or you are going to think this other thing that makes you settle and gives you control. Always remember, your anxiety and your worrying doesn't change the things you need to do to address any problem in your life or potential problem. But worrying and causing yourself anxiety will make the potential problem worse, because you are going to make yourself feel worse. So it all begins with you and being deliberate about what you will allow yourself to think about and what you will not allow yourself to think about. What triggers anxiety? There are things that happen to you all day long that trigger tense feelings in your body, which trigger your body to remember situations from your childhood that make you feel out of control, anxious, or unsafe. It's things that happened before which trigger you to start bracing yourself. If you are having trouble catching yourself at the moment that you start worrying and being anxious, the most effective thing you can do is an audit of your day. You can identify all of the situations, the people, the time of the day, or experiences that you have. That triggers you to feel uneasy, to start worry, which trigger you to feel anxious. Let me give you an example. Go through your day and go step by step from the moment you wake up. When are the moments that you worry? What are the situations that you are in throughout your day that trigger you to be tense? Ask yourself, is just waking up and thinking about your day trigger worry? Figuring out what you have to eat at lunch? Having to make cold calls? The work itself that you have to do in your job? The work you have to do in your passion project? Or the book you need to write? Does that create worry and anxiety for you? If so, write about it. And after you go from the moment you wake up to the moment you get into your bed, the next thing you are going to do is you are going to go and identify, are there people in your life that trigger you to worry? So today, all I want you to do is identify the triggers. And here's why. When we pull the triggers out of the dark, we can learn how to put a plan in place to respond to them. When you find the triggers, I will share with you in the next video how to notice the worries, identify triggers, and create what we call an if-then plan, which involves an anchor thought. And when you have a go-to-anchor thought in place, you now have the formula for changing the structure and architecture of how your mind thinks. How a trigger happens, which you don't even realize, and makes your mind start to worry, and as your mind starts to spiral and spiral and spiral, now your body is all agitated and you're anxious. But we are going to cut it off at the trigger, and we are going to stop the worrying, and that means you are never going to get to the state of feeling agitated. And then from there we're going to redirect you to an anchor thought which is going to ground you. I'm going to share with you all of that in the next video. So please stay tuned. If this video added value to your life, please share it with the people in your world. And tap the like button to help us grow our channel, and make sure to subscribe. Ring the bell so you get notified whenever we post new videos. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends, because more incredible content are on the way.